Hi, this animation consists of two steps, an upward movement and a downward movement. To create an animation involving two steps, you can use what is called animation completion criteria in SwiftUI. Let's look at how that works. By the way, we are going to use Xcode Playground on the iPad. So in this example, I have added a button here, and when you tap the button, it does nothing. When you add a standard SwiftUI animation using the animation modifier or using with animation, you get a one-step animation. So what we need to do first is to add a standard SwiftUI animation. You can see here I have already defined the state variable y offset and set the value to 0.0. Whenever we tap the button, we want it to move up and then it comes back to the original position. So what we need to do here is to create a new function. We will call this function move up and back. Then inside the function, let's add a standard SwiftUI animation, that is using an explicit animation. In the parentheses, we define the easing equation we want to use. Let's have a bouncy spring. Then we add parentheses here and add two parameters, duration and extra bounce. For the duration of this animation, we can use, for example, 0.5. Then we have an extra bounce of 0.3. We can now copy the state variable we defined here and use it to set the final animation state. Since we want the button to move up, we need to set it to a negative value. So let's use, for example, minus 180. Next, let's attach the property we want to animate to the button label, that is the offset. So we add the offset modifier here. We are interested in only the y coordinate, so we set it as our y offset. I will copy it and paste it here. Lastly, we want to add the interactivity to the button. So when we tap it, we call the function we defined here, move up and back. That is all we need to do to create a simple standard SwiftUI animation. So anytime we tap, you can see it moves up and it doesn't get back to the original position unless we reset the animation with Option, Command and P and tap it again. It moves up and it doesn't return. This is because with a standard SwiftUI animation, we only get one animation step. Luckily, we have animation completion criteria. We can use it to define what should happen when the animation ends. So we can simply say, when this animation ends, we want to set the y offset back to 0.0. That is the original position when the object is at rest. We can add the animation completion after the with animation we defined here. So let's add completion. And what we need to do is to set the y offset to a value we want. So as I said, we want to use the original position, that is 0.0. So anytime we tap it, you can see it jumps up and snaps back to the original position, that is this value. The upward movement has a nice spring animation. We can also animate the completion as well. So let's copy the with animation here and paste it over here. Then we move this inside it. So you can now see both the upward and downward movement has this nice spring animation. So this is how you can use animation completion criteria in SwiftUI to create a two-step animation. If you want more steps, like 3 or more, what you need to do is to use face animator or keyframes. We will dive into that in later videos. Thanks for watching this video.